Good afternoon, traders. This is AJ Trader, AJ Trader 7 of Awesomecallstrading.com. How are all of you today? Wow. How do you, I have to tell you, as a trader, I was never more excited until I woke up this morning. When the Dow was down 800 points, as we all know, on Tuesday. And then this morning I woke up and the Dow was down another 400, and all I could think of was Dow's down 1,200 points. I can imagine all the stocks being gutted: Apple, Netflix, Adobe, ANET, Nates. Then I had earnings plays, and I was just sitting there going, "Man, today is going to day to make money." I was so excited. I couldn't wait to get into the chat room and share my ideas. And as a matter of fact, my idea was that I saw the market bouncing. I didn't feel like the market could sustain this 800 Dow down and then another 400 more. It needed to bounce and correct itself before it would fade off some. And so my mindset this morning when I got up was, I'm looking for a bounce and in the market. And what I tried to do is, if you follow my feed, it's pretty, it's a busy feed during trading hours. And I keep it that way because I'm very proud when I say things. And one thing is that you will find it when you follow me, whether you're in the room or on Twitter, I'm extremely transparent. I don't hide anything. I give you my view. If I'm wrong, come at me. Hey, I said what I said. But when you actually look back of all the things that I have said today, from my notes to my pre-market notes to my ideas, what I felt the market, you can't deny that everything that I said is basically what has happened. And that's because I've been trading for 15 years. And so when I got up this morning, as you look at my feed, the first thing I said was obviously good morning. And then I went into that on this tweet here. You can see I was very clear. I think the sell-off is a little bit overdone. I'm going to go long Netflix. I'm going to buy some Adobe. I like ABMD if it goes 310 and under. And then Netflix, as you can see, it popped on the next tweet about 20 minutes later, 10 minutes later, it went up 3 points, and I sold into that. And it actually went to 272 from 268. I also suggested to buy some AVA long at 43.50. I figured it would probably go to 45 at the open. Anyway, and then I put my list together. I was still doing research, and then I finally finalized it. And as you'll see in my notes, you're actually going to be, if this is the first time you're listening to my webinar, you're going to be pretty impressed on how Awesome Calls Trading, really navigated through the market this morning. I really take pride in what I do. I take pride in every one of the traders that come into the room. I really want to help everyone see what I see. And, it's interesting because as a trader, you actually I like to see other views of people. And I was seeing a lot of negativity, like, there's really not much to trade out there. Going to just not trade at all. But in here, like every day, doesn't matter what the market's doing, we are going to find plays. And today's for December 6, 2018, I started with Place, which is an expensive stock, and I'll tell you why I liked it. Momo, Bizond, Roku, Ava, Tho, Okada, Ollie, ANET, Nates, Netflix, Adobe, and LEDs. I saw LEDs gapping up, so I thought if there was volume behind it, it would probably kick up, maybe pick some up in the 370s, see if it gets going. If it doesn't, kill it and move on. But before I begin, we need to stop and yes, I had great calls this morning on my list, but I really need to give credit where credit is due. I'm very fortunate to have some really good talent in this room, and this morning they really came through, the moderators in here. And yes, my stuff is good, but boy, I'll tell you, every time I trade with these traders, it is really phenomenal what they do and the stuff they come up with. And I'll just kind of show you These are the moderators in the room, and other than myself, we have Jenny Moore. He is a talented, he's been here almost 3 years, 4 years. He is a talented, and that's his Twitter feed if you wish to follow. He's a short seller. He likes to find the tops on things. He's extremely talented, very good guy, and I really enjoy. He's always the first in the room, and it's a privilege. And then we have Raphael. He's our bio trader, and he trades in our room. He does trade in one or other two other rooms, but every morning he seems to come in here, and I love having him come in here because he's always providing us some great plays. Dark Side, he is a technical trader. I'm honored every day he's here. You could follow him. He teaches. He's got a nice Discord. I believe he's got over almost 600 people on Discord, and you can follow him there. I was really impressed. I'm honored that he's here. Then we have Brad, Fire Trader. I mean, you saw what he did on Sky this morning. He had another stock that he picked. I think it was ADP. Phenomenal trader. And then, of course, Dave the Trader. He doesn't have a Twitter feed, but he is Mr. Alert. He's been here a couple of years. He's phenomenal. Great trader. Great person. Really enjoy every day. He alerts us things that are really important. But I want to really give a moment to this gentleman here, BTrades23. He is so underfollowed, but this trader this morning, and it's not just this morning, it's just what he finds on his scans and what he does to do research. Today, he found us 2 amazing trades, and he did it so quickly and effortlessly that even though others were making money on some of my ideas, I want to share with you these 2 trades, and I want to start the webinar with these 2 because it was truly phenomenal. He gave us a stock called UXIN, which I have never heard of. You know, and then he gave us this short seller at URIV, and this one was just a great short. He alerted, and this one as well, and he alerted this one right off his scan this morning. That and this is really important because he uses trade ideas, and he has it set up that way. And in our room, if you're an annual subscriber, I will actually pay for that for an entire year, and you can go through B-Trades or whoever uses that, and they can give you their setups and how they use it, since you're not even paying for it if you're an annual subscriber. But he found this trade this morning right off the scan, and it popped at this 320 area, and he was long and gone at 325. And as soon as I saw it on screen, and he popped it, I said, you know what, room to 5. What I did is I immediately went into. I pulled up a 180. I went across the board. I did a check, and I just said, you know what? I see 5 on it, topping about right there, and then probably sell off, and that was the call. So it was a combination of him alerting, and then me deciding where I felt it would go. And again, I've been trading for 15 years, and I know these small cap stocks like there's no tomorrow. So watching this play out, it was just a great trade, and it paid bills for a lot of people. And it was quick too. And as soon as I was done with it, I have my short sellers were in the room sitting tight, but they couldn't get any. Stock. I believe Centerpoint was having issues trying to get the stock to short. But other than that, the stock came all the way back down and filled the gap right back up. So it was really impressive. And then the other one was Uriv. This was a short seller report this morning, and he caught it because he followed these people. I didn't know who they were, and sure enough, like clockwork, and he caught it at 1075 when it started to pull right off his scan. And boy, let me tell you, it halted and came down to $7. And these 2 trades they warrant charts, they warrant everything, and really impressive. And if you played the bounce and you couldn't short it, you can see clearly. I think they probably came out and defended themselves, and the stock just basically everyone short covered pretty much at the same time and squeezed it right back up, which all this is short covering. So really impressive. So I just want to start with those 2, UXIN and URIV. Now, this morning, what can I say? I come here this morning, I'm watching Netflix, and I'm going, really? And I'm going, okay, we've had a sell-off here for the last, you know what, I'm going to time frame this to 3 days because we were off the other day. I'm going to go 2 days on it, all right? And you could see there was a massive sell-off on Tuesday. And I did warn everyone in our great room, hey, do not overnight just because the stuff is down. I don't want anybody overnighting anything long. I couldn't have been more clear because I had a lot of people asking, what can we swing overnight? And I said, no, nothing. You don't know what the market's going to do on Monday. On Thursday. So let's be cautious and let's play it out. If it gaps down, we'll pop it. If it's gapping up, we'll short it and fill the gap back and then go long. So I was right, and I think we saved a lot of people a lot of money. And as you can tell, it gapped down this morning. Now, my instinct this morning on this gap down was buy, 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 buy. I was a buyer. I did not hesitate. But with TD, you can't buy stock until 4 o'clock in the morning on the West Coast. So I had to wait for the open, and I ended up getting around 268. And I did tweet it out if you were watching me, and I felt the stock would probably push, and it was on my pre-market notes, probably get to 274, 275 today. Hold on, let me find you the pre-market notes so you can see them. And here was the call. Long at 268, out on dips. I believe the stock will go back up to 270 plus. And if it drops to 258 area, I would be adding, depending if the market pulled. But I like 265 and under, buy. And I felt the stock would go to 270 and more, and on any pullback. And for me, as the trader, I bought at 268 and sold under 272. So it was a nice pre-market play. And as you can tell, the stock went all the way up to 279. And if you stayed the whole way, you made a nice, comfortable 12 points on the trade. So I was really, really happy with this trade. And you know what? Nobody really, and let's be realistic in our industry, nobody stays the whole way. They really don't. So if you know, what I try to do on the charts is let you know there was 12 points in play. And I'm not saying that we stayed the full 12. I'm just saying that along the way, anybody could have gone in and out and made a couple points while the stock was in play. And that's really what I tried to find in the chat room versus everyone swarming to play the same play, like a small cap, and everybody's trying to get their 50 cents. I'm not into that. I want to find something with huge range, 8, 10, 12, 15 points. So traders, if they miss the movement, they can still get in there and make money as it moves itself up. And maybe they don't get the full 6 points, 8 points, 3 points, but gosh darn it, if they can't get 2 or 3, you know, and that's really what I want to do. I want to give everyone an opportunity to make money. So Netflix was definitely on our call. The next one that you're going to really, really love was Nates. Now, when you join our room on an annual, I will pay for a scan service for an entire year. I'm sure you're seeing my posts. One of the scan services I use is this Newswatch or Newsware. And part of Newsware, in Newsware, and it's an expensive item, but part of Newsware, I will use Fly on the Wall. And Fly on the Wall is, if you're ever familiar with them, they are part, they have their own site, plus they work alongside Newsware. And their format, how it comes out on Newsware, is really important to me as a trader because I can read through it. And one of the things that stood out to me this morning was ANET was upgraded to buy, and I'm really great. I'm pretty darn good on analyst calls for the last 15 years, so that one spot out for me. And then there was another one that caught my eye with Nates, and that was with one of my favorite underwriters at Morgan Stanley. And I was really impressed. I caught this little thing right here, upgraded to overweight from equal weight. That's all I needed to see. And so once I pulled up, and then what you do on the scan that I use, you immediately go over to it and you pull it up and you can actually read the entire literature on the call itself. And here it is, and why the analyst is upgrading the stock. And I share this with my room. I copy and paste it, put it in the room, because before a trader makes a trade in Awesome Calls Trading, it's my job to show them why I picked it. I always give them a reason. Otherwise, I don't want them trading it if they don't know what they're doing or why they're even trading. And that's really important to me as a trader. I want to be taught every day when I walk into a room. Teach me something. Tell me why I'm buying the stock. Why do you have the confidence? Why are you so telling us to buy at this? And when I saw this, I immediately, in the morning, because I have a lot of option traders in the room, and I also have swing traders in the room that can only come in for maybe 10 minutes and see what swing ideas. And what I did this morning is I identified this trade, and I basically said on the test this morning was to buy 240 January calls. The stock was sitting at 229 and it was gapping down all the way to 220. I told the chat room to buy the pullback at 222 and under and expect the stock to go back to 240. And I like it. I actually took long at 224 myself, and I put the entry here so they can all see it. And I want you to show you how the stock work. Okay. So if you bought the 240 calls, or you bought the 222 area, or you bought where I went and bought at 224, I want you to see how the stock played out. And the bell rang. Stock gap down. It pulled to 220, 222 right there. If you bought long at 222, the stock hit 240 on the January calls. Now, this call alone would probably be celebrated in every chat room in the world as the only call of the day. Look how great I am. Look how awesome. Traders, subscribers, followers, anybody listening to this webinar, I got 11 more for you. We're not done. We just started. Okay? Let's go to the next call. The next call was Annette. Okay? So now Annette was Annette from B of A. They had a buy rating with a price target of 300, and that's really important to me. So the stock was sitting at 229. So I went ahead and bought some on. I nibbled long because it was gapping down another 4 more points on top of the 229. So I went long at 225. I told everyone in the room the stock would probably touch 232 or more. However, for you swing and option players, I would buy 235 to 240 calls because I felt comfortable that you'd at least see 235. If the market even slightly turns green tomorrow, it's a 235 to 240 all day long, and you'll make your money. So buy the weakness, pick it up at 225, and expect a 15-point move on the stock. Again, this is what we do. I don't argue with it. I see it. I've been trading for 15 years, and my job is to guide traders to cash every day. All right. So I want you to see this call today, Annette, as we go to the chart. And here is Annette. So if you followed my notes to perfection, the stock ended up going to, if you bought them, and in the first few minutes of the opening bell, if you bought 225, which I bought, you went to 235 in exactly 17 minutes. In 17 minutes, you went 10 points. And it was all live. This isn't done after the fact. This is just what we do. Okay? Really, really a great call. I'm going to show you another great call because, you know, again, we just were getting started. I'm going to show you another stock. This one is called Okada. Most of you don't even trade Okada. You don't even heard of it. You won't trade it. You'll ignore it. In Awesome Calls Trading, this is the bread and butter of what we do. Okay? This was a beautiful trade. And Okada had earnings, and the earnings were actually pretty good. The problem was the market was pulling it down, and the stock was actually gapping up on earnings, and I noticed that. I read the report, and I was confident that the stock would fill the gap first, and any pull, I would be a buyer, and I felt the stock would just squeeze. Now, did I see 69 or 70? No, I'll be realistic. I think my call was and I'll show you what I wrote. It's gapping up for, I would like a full pullback to 61 and under, and then go long for a slow all-day move to the upside. And I have a lot of traders in here that love those kind of calls where I say slow all-day move to the upside, because then they don't have to think about it. They just buy the stock and they can just relax, and there's no thinking in it. It's effortless. And the reason why I picked 61 is because I like the earnings, and being it was a 60-65 on Tuesday, I figured, let's give it to 61 and under. We can always add, but the stock will find bottom and retrace back up and have an all-day move to the upside. But I want 61 first. Okay, so market open, ding, 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 ding. We had really a fat finger, to be honest with you, if you can see it. It was really a one trade, actually two quick trades. They were fat fingers. We call them. They were just somebody just dumping a full amount at the open. And then I knew right then and there that 60, 61 mark, go. You filled the gap, 61 right here, long it, confirm it, broke through the flag, and look where the stock ran, all the way to 69.85. You could, and I was guiding the traders in the room, just stay with it, don't short it, leave it alone, let it keep going, it's going to run, and that's exactly what it did. It was just an absolutely stunning, 8, 9 point play. And the reason why I love giving these kind of trades again to the traders that come in here and subscribe is because even if you miss the initial pop at 60.61, I'm still going to help you get money. So the stock is running to 65, so you can buy it at 61, 62, 63, and still make a point, 2 points on the trade. And that's what I love to do for traders in the room, is just really help them see that and guide them there. So actually we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trades already. I guess I have time for maybe one more. We had so many plays. It was so much fun. I can't really describe it. We had this small play here called Ava. Now Ava was gapping down quite a bit, and the reason was the headline on Ava was that they received regulatory decision. The Washington Utilities and Transportation Company was denied the proposed merger. Well, when that happens, when you get like a headline like that, I tend to buy the bottoms in pre-market because they tend to. I want to short squeeze it at the open. I've got a lot of shorts in here, and I figured that we'd probably squeeze a little bit at the open. Not a lot. My idea was to get it probably up to 45 to 47 at the open and then fade off. So I felt it was an ideal trade, especially in pre-market. And I also, if you go to my Twitter feed, you can see my notes here on AVA. I would be going long at 43.50. Look for the stock to hit 45.46 on the rebound. And also on Twitter, I was nice enough to actually give you this trade for free. Because I want you, even if you're not in the room, I want you to see what we do. And right here, this morning, if you look at my tweet, there it is. I like this long here at 43.50. Okay. Now, if you were in the room and you paid $25 today, you could see where it went, right? And clearly, we did very, very well in that stock, and the stock was going. I was looking for 45, and ding, 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 ding. Pre-market, market open, boom, almost 45 a share. And last but not least, I'm going to give you one more. And this one is called Place. Now, a lot of you will not trade Place. I'm sorry. Your room just, unfortunately, is very limited. Well, Place is children's, it's kind of like a toy store type thing. The children go in there. It's called the Child Place. It's actually a really, their stores are clean. They're nice. There's, one not too far from here. And but this morning, their guidance was down and their language was a little soft. And I really felt the stock would be a sell-off most of the day. But here's the trick when you're trading Place. There's a certain area where investors will buy the stock, and that stock is about 100. They will buy the stock up at 100. They like to keep it above that 100 mark. It's just what they do. And so I knew we were going to get kind of a few opportunities. The first was buy the weakness at the open, and the second was any sell-off at the open, buy it again. And you can see it was our number one pick in the room that to pick up place at 100 to 102 and just bounce it. And it would bounce probably, 5 points to 105. I figured it would stay around the 105 area. And I'll show you the opportunities that it had for the chat room. And it was a really nice trade. It actually gave us 10 points total on the trade 2 times. I'll show it to you. So if you took the trade, you first initially bounced it off the 101. I said 100 to 102, which is 101. It bounced to 107. So that was 6 points. And then after that, I said it's going to sell off again. Watch that 100 mark, and there it is. And you see how it double bottomed right around the 100? So that told me it was another buying opportunity, and that stock ran another 5 more points. So it was a 10-point trade. And after that, I just said leave it alone. Forget it. It's done. If it goes to 100 again, you could bounce it, but it won't be as active as it was when we were trading in the morning. In essence, we traded probably around, 250 points. I cannot stress enough, you need to be in the right environment. You need to be in the right chat room. You need to be around a professional that does this day in and day out. And when you evaluate what you did today in your room and you're listening to this webinar, you can really see the difference in the confidence level and why traders really do so well in here. And you can also sense why 8 chat rooms have come from here. It's this kind of teachings that we do every day in, and this is not me, it's the mods too. We all contribute to the success of a trader in here. And for $6.75 a day as a monthly subscriber, I think it's a heck of an investment. And now for the annual Christmas, it's now $250 a day, and $75 a month. And with that, you could be in another room if you want to. A lot of traders like to trade the pre-market with us because we make them their money, and then they kind of go in another room sometimes, not all the time, and then they kind of just piss it away because of their crappy calls. But for the most part, the people in here, the ladies, the men, I mean, it's a phenomenal room, and I can't stress enough. I was done. All 4 of my trades that I gave entries on, I was done at the opening bell. Net test by 224. My long at 225, and you already know Netflix I already had finished because I was long at 268. And then the other one was what was the other one? ANET, I believe it was ANET. The test, I'll tell you what it was. Hold on. Order status. Oh, Netflix, right? And then what was the other one? Adobe. Yeah, I'm sorry, Adobe. Oh, shoot, I should just give you Adobe. Yeah, I should. Gapping down 240. We'll give it room 235. I think the stock will go to 242. To 240. Wow, I forgot about this one. Long at 240. I actually went long at 240. I'll just show you the trade, and I'll just throw it in here. I forgot. I'm telling you, we had 12 ideas, and here's the Adobe trade, and I went long at 240 this morning. I just put a limit order in pre-market. It hit, and I put a sell order in at 242, and it hit within I think 30 seconds after the opening bell, a minute or two. The stock ended up going 249. Yeah. I always sell early. This is fine. I forgot about this one. This is a great trade. 240 long and room to add at the open, and the stock hit 249. So that's a 9-point trade if you took the trade with me. So not too bad. All right. Well, that is today's recap. I hope that you enjoyed it. I look forward to trading with you tomorrow. And it's Friday. We have an IPO tomorrow. The IPO is called Myrna, M-R-N-A. It will be one of the biggest biotech IPOs. We're going to play it live in the room. We're going to see how it prices tonight, see how much it's oversubscribed. 3 of the main underwriters are on there. It's going to be a treat. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. And I've already prepped. I have some people that actually bought allocation for the stock. It is going to be a huge IPO. It's supposed to price tonight and probably open high, probably at low to mid 30s in my opinion, probably 35 and under. if your price is at $22, $23, $24 a share. So it's 21 million shares, 3 of the biggest underwriters on it. It's going to be just incredible. Okay. So I want to thank you so much for being a part of the room and listening to this webinar. I hope everyone that is in our room will retweet it to your followers, because I think it was an exciting day. And I have to stress one last thing. I don't care if I wake up and the Dow is down 900 points. I'm going to trade this market. I'm not going anywhere. And I own this market when it's like that. If the stock market's up 500 or it's down 700, there's no fear in me. I have worked very hard for the last 5 years of my life owning this chat room to prepare myself and prepare every trader that comes in here. Never fear. There's no fear in the trading what we do in here. You just take it, make it, and get out and make your money. So I will see you. Take care, and thank you very much. Bye-bye.